G'day Poultry Gang, welcome back to the channel and hope you're all having a great day as always. And today, you'll be learning about the top 5 tips on how to improve your aim in any first-person shooter game. This comes from my experience of playing tac shooters like Counter-Strike, arcade shooters like Call of Duty and Team Fortress 2, and mil-sim games like Squad and Hell Let Loose. A lot of people think that you need insane raw aim to be able to flick on, different enemies that appear left, right, and center, like at a moment's notice. But that's simply not the case. You'll find that a lot of really good players hit the easy shots like 90% of the time, 90 to 100% of the time. They're always landing the easiest shots, and they might hit like an insane shot once in a while, but a lot of their aim is very consistent. Having consistent aim is what we're striving for to win more gunfights, and for me it comes down to 5 things, which is having a good mouse sensitivity, controlled weapon handling, crosshair placement, combat pacing, and confidence. So let's talk about it. Firstly, to find your ideal sensitivity, you will need to keep tweaking it until you can recreate mouse movements consistently. For me, when I swipe my mouse halfway across my mousepad, I know I will do a 200-degree turn. That's what I'm comfortable with, and that's what I can recreate. I play on low sensitivity and use my arm to do most of the aiming, while my wrist makes micro adjustments. I believe that low sensitivity makes my aim more deliberate, so the easy shots are almost guaranteed, but the harder shots like flicks might be a bit harder. Some players like higher sensitivity, but I feel that with the higher sensitivity, you play with a lesser ability to make micro adjustments. The hard shots like flicks will be easier, but the easy shots might get harder, as you might find yourself that you're flicking off the enemy sometimes. Anyway, it's important that you have a play around until you find out what is most comfortable for you and stick with it to develop your muscle memory. That will make your aim more consistent, so don't swap it up too much. The second point I want to talk about is having good control over your weapon. If you cannot control your weapon, you cannot be accurate. If you're not accurate, you're not hitting your target. So first off, in your chosen game, find a weapon that you like and learn its recoil patterns or impulses. In this video, I'm using the Counter-Strike M4A4. I know that if I shoot full auto, the first 10 bullets go straight up and I can compensate for that at close range. But for every other engagement, I am most comfortable with 2 to 3 round bursts, which is more consistent for me to land shots rather than going full auto. This controlled fire rate allows me to have good weapon handling and land my shots even in the most intense situations. Remember that you can easily go full auto with your weapon, but if you're not hitting anything or accurately suppressing the enemy, what's the point? So spend some time to learn to control your preferred weapon system to improve your aim, even when things get hectic. The third point I need to cover is having good crosshair placement. This is simply a matter of pointing your crosshair where threats can appear from. That means don't aim at the sky, or at the ground, or at a wall, in most situations. If you believe the enemy is about to come around the corner, aim at the corner, or in the direction of the corner, but not directly at the corner. You want to give yourself some room to react and for the enemy to run into your crosshair. Depending on your game and on your playstyle, you might want to aim center mass, that is at the chest, to land the most shots as possible because the chest is the biggest area that you can hit. Or you might be wanting to aim at the head for extra damage, like in Counter-Strike. You can see in my gameplay that I am still practicing my crosshair placement as mentioned, and I am aiming for the head, because the headshots do significantly more damage in this game compared to a lot of other games. So, also, learning the different maps and games is also important, but what's more important is putting your crosshair where the enemy can be, and that is a fundamental skill that you need to learn to improve your aiming consistency. The fourth point to improve your aim is maintaining good pacing. And so you don't want to rush yourself. If you shoot the enemy, of course the enemy will shoot back, but don't get nervous. If you die, you die. That's the reality. You can't win every single gunfight, but remaining calm improves your odds. Maintaining good control over your weapon and fight back in a controlled and calculated manner. So many times I've been ambushed in squad, but you need to remain calm under fire, find cover, then send rounds back at the enemy to establish fire superiority. This applies to Counter-Strike 2 when you're defending, and all the flashbangs and molotovs start raining in, and the enemy is rushing through the entrances. Don't panic, tell your team that you need support, Throw some counter molotovs and play your position to the best of your ability. And remember to aim where the enemy is most likely to come from. You will not be able to cover every single avenue of approach, so you're just gonna have to have confidence in your team to back you up, and hopefully the enemy runs from where you're expecting them to be. Okay. Another aspect that I want to talk about pacing is to not rush yourself, especially when attacking. I just talked about defending, but this is for attacking. So don't rush yourself when you're clearing rooms, angles, and corners. Slow and deliberate movement is smooth, and smooth is fast. So as you clear potential enemy positions of threats, you need to give yourself time to process that before you move on. If you rush and try to clear angles like willy-nilly, you may find yourself overlooking like different sightlines and getting shot. Of course, there are time-sensitive objectives, and you can't clear every single angle. And what this really comes down to, I guess, is that you're managing risk versus reward in moments like that. When you, let's say you have to defuse a bomb, there's like only like 15 seconds left and one enemy, you don't know where they are. You're gonna have to try your best to clear out as best as you can, but you can't clear everything. And that risk management is highly context dependent. Yeah, it's just highly context dependent. But regardless, remain calm and collected, and you'll find your crosshair in the right place more often than not. Okay? And finally, I want to talk about having the confidence, which actually builds upon the last point. That is having the confidence to confront and fight the enemy. When you're too scared to do anything, you tense up, you freeze, your mind gets distracted, and your aim goes kaput. So relax a bit, and take the time to assess the situation. Before you confront the enemy, think about how you will fight them, and have the confidence to let your training and practice take over. Believe that you will win the upcoming gunfight, and it may be so. Don't think about dying or how low HP you are, or if you're at a man disadvantage. Have a plan and execute it. For example, in squad, if I want to assault an entrenched machine gun position, I may ask my fire team to suppress the enemy, to allow our grenadier to pop smoke in front of the gun, so we can maneuver up the flank with our crosshairs pointed, towards the trench line. We'll hop into the trench, then one of us can toss a frag grenade into the bunker, and then we can rush it. First man can clear the left side, second man can clear the right side. If we die, we die. But if not, we've just taken a fortified position where 90% of people would be afraid to do anything. When you are confidently executing a plan, you're relatively relaxed and your aim will naturally take over. Aiming is most consistent when it is instinctual, which comes from practice and confidence. It actually looks like I have 2 minutes left, so I want to talk about some other things that you can use to improve your aim as well. And the first thing is, should you use aim trainers? And I'm thinking, I've never used an aim trainer in my life, but I do see the benefits of it. I just like to play deathmatch. Deathmatch is really good for putting yourself in hectic situations where enemies can appear from anywhere and you just have to react, and that will improve your raw aim greatly. I think a lot of aim trainers, they don't factor in game specific environments, so the aim trainer might not factor in recoil, weapon spread, and people moving erratically. So you can use aim trainers, I think, but I think the best way to improve is to practice by playing your game. Just by playing the game, you'll get a better understanding of the mechanics, the feel for the game, and your aim will improve that way. Other things that you control are your environment. So if your room is like really hot, maybe you can turn on the AC. If your room's really cold, you turn on the heater. Because I know that if you're feeling really hot, your aim can go kaput, or if your hands are frozen, you just can't flick as well. So consider that as well. Your sitting posture will also affect your aim as well. So if you have a good posture, you might reduce the fatigue that you have as well. And don't sit down for too long, because you'll get cramped or cramped up. So make sure you take regular rests and breaks when you need to. And yeah, that's all I really want to say. There's like a million things I can talk about to also improve your aim, but those were the main things I wanted to cover. My 5 top tips, plus that little extra bit. Alrighty, that's about it for my top 5 tips on how to improve your aim. If you have any other tips to give other players, or if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.